Sixers fans, welcome back. Look, I want to apologize by saying another Ben Simmons video. Here we go. But the Sixers come out today, and it's a real thing now. The Sixers are openly trading Ben Simmons. It's about damn time. I think this says a couple things for the organization, for Ben Simmons, and the offers I think the Sixers can get outside of around the league. Let's get into it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're climbing. We're back to climbing a little bit. Let's keep climbing. What do you guys say? I think by the Sixers doing this, I like it. I like it for a couple of reasons. One, I think the Sixers are aware of the fact, Daryl Morey especially, is aware of the fact that, like, you just cannot bring back Ben Simmons to the Sixers. Imagine Ben Simmons getting booed like nobody's business when he comes back. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. He's not. There's no way you can bring this dude back. Every time he's going to touch the free throw line, every time he touches the ball on the perimeter, people are going to be screaming at him to shoot. Ben Simmons is mentally incapable of handling what he's handled the past couple of years. Imagine what it'll be like when he returns to Philadelphia. No shot, dude. He's not mentally tough enough to deal with the scrutiny that's been going on lately. He's ran away from everything as usual. I think Daryl Morey is aware of that fact and aware of the fact that he's just never going to work out in the Sixers uniform again. Though I do hope the best for him elsewhere, and I do hope Ben Simmons finally can reach his maximized potential somewhere else. It'll be a little bittersweet, but I'll be really happy for Ben because you know what? Every single dude in the NBA deserves to be as good as they can be. And I've always had this enamored love with Ben Simmons. I've made many a video in my time, thanking him and appreciating him and supporting him and backing him while other people couldn't and didn't. So I'll always be a Ben Simmons lover, but the time has passed, So I think there are a couple of different places that Ben could end up. This is also kind of fitting my timeline of everything going on. The NBA draft is coming up. And I said that Simmons will probably most likely be traded from the draft night to the end of free agency. That's probably the window I'm giving him to be moved. And I think that because that tends to be where the most trades occur. Maybe a little bit before the draft. I can see that happening, especially now, because I think this is expediting the process a little bit. But the Sixers come out and they say that they're open to trade offers. They are openly fielding offers, which means to me that I think the Sixers are more confident in a return than they were a couple of weeks ago. I think the Sixers have done a very good job saying what Ben Simmons' value is. I think that's a very big chess match, and to say that Malcolm Brogdon and a first-round pick was absolutely offered to Philadelphia would be false, because there have been so many conflicting reports that personally I could honestly see the Sixers making a lot of this up to gain traction and to build offers from other teams. I think maybe the Sixers constructed that in the deep core of the front office and anonymously came out with it on their own. And I think it's brilliant. I would like to think that's what's going on, first of all. And second of all, I would like to think that this whole public ordeal that's been going on with Simmons and the Sixers lately is due to the fact that the Sixers are now confidently thinking they can get something in better of return. They said that they want something of an all-star caliber player. Now, that means a couple of things. I think that means that either an all-star player right now, which means Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Paul George, or all-star players to be, like younger guys, in which I think they could mean De'Aaron Fox, maybe Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, guys like that, of that stature, of not now all-stars, but future all-stars, or fringe all-stars as like a Tobias Harris type of guy. But I think the Sixers are pretty confident in the fact that they can get somebody of that caliber. And what interests me the most is the direction that they're going to take. Are they going to take the route to find a older guy like Paul George, who is not really on a great contract? Not really on a great contract at all, but are we going to take a flyer on him for the next couple of years, instead of a guy like maybe throwing in more for a guy like De'Aaron Fox? Personally, I would absolutely adore to see De'Aaron Fox play the game of basketball in the city of Philadelphia. I mean, he is, De'Aaron Fox is nasty. He's only getting better. I just don't know how realistic that is. But I would be really, really here for that, especially. But I think the Sixers are going to move Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons is going to be gone by the start of the year. It's just about time. I've seen a lot of trade offers, so many trade offers this morning and yesterday especially, including Ben. And they are so wide-ranging. It ranges from, like, Ben Simmons and Shake Milton and a first-round pick to the Clippers for Paul George, Luke Kennard, and a first-rounder. In which I was like, I don't know. That's a lot to unpack right now. Probably, but who knows. Then I saw some type of deal, Ben Simmons heading to Sacramento for De'Aaron Fox. It was like Ben... I don't even remember. I don't remember. It was first-round picks were involved, and the salary matched. Then, obviously the stereotypical Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, maybe Matisse Thybulle, 3 first-rounders for Robert Covington and Damian Lillard in Portland. I think that's a better offer than Portland would get elsewhere, in Golden State especially. I mean, you see Golden State with this Damian Lillard and Steph Curry combo is a sure thing, blah, blah, blah. And my rebuttal to that is, like, is Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, and 2 firsts better than Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, or Tyrese Maxey, and 3 first-rounders to Portland? I don't think so. I mean, I get the idea of James Wiseman. I get why people like him, but I just don't see that as being the deal. I think the first-rounders in Philadelphia, Ben Simmons, who is an established all-star, over some guys in Golden State who will never or have never been an all-star. I mean, Andrew Wiggins will never be an all-star. He is probably a bust if you look at it. I get he's a good role player. He's a pretty good two-way player nowadays, but he's still a bust. He's still not a good, he's not a number 1 pick type of guy. And James Wiseman, who didn't have the greatest first year and did get hurt, but, I mean, he did show extreme flashes of talent at times. So, I mean, I understand that. And then, the deals around Zach LaVine, I saw Ben Simmons and what was it? I think it was just Ben Simmons for Zach LaVine. I forget. Zach LaVine in a second, maybe. Which that's not going to happen ever. Like, the Bulls are not going to trade Zach LaVine and stuff for Ben Simmons. That's not going to happen. Ben Simmons will have to be included in a package to get a guy like Zach LaVine. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. You know what I mean? I think Bradley Beal is the same way. I think Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine are on that tier 2 list of superstars. Tier 2 list of stars, I should say. They're not superstars. I think Damian Lillard is in a tier of his own. So I think it goes Damian Lillard, and then obviously the likes of Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, things like that. And then I saw this idea of trading Ben Simmons to Toronto for Pascal Siakam straight up. And that is a very, very interesting move. The first thing that I think of is Embiid and Pascal Siakam, both from Cameroon. That would be interesting. I mean, I'm sure they would be friends. I'm sure they're boys, dude. You know what I mean? That would just be interesting to watch. But I also don't think Pascal Siakam brings that level of playmaking, though he did really, really improve last year in the second half of the season on his playmaking. I just don't think Pascal is a good enough playmaker. And again, it does not fit our hole at the 1. And Tobias Harris's fit would probably become a little more clunky. You're going to probably throw Siakam or Harris at the 3, and I don't think either of them are really genuinely modern-day small forwards anymore. I think I see them both as an athletic small ball 4, a stretch 4. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. So I just don't love the fit of a Tobias Harris, Pascal Siakam, Embiid fit, but at the same time, like I kind of like that trade. It's just this straight up 1-for-1 deal, and Pascal Siakam brings defensive energy. At least he's not a negative defensively, but he's just a way better scorer. He's a way better shot creator, and I think if he can improve on his outside jumper, because he improves every single season, if he can improve on his outside jumper, I think he would go from that tier B guy to a tier A minus. I think him and Ben Simmons are on a similar wave right now when it comes to rankings in the NBA, and I think it would be a very even trade. And the fact that I'm kind of iffy on it, but also kind of sold on it, would make that a pretty good deal. And so I think Pascal Siakam is a interesting, realistic reply, or offer, I should say. And I think there's so much, but I also think the moral of my story is that I think Daryl Morey will end up, the Morey of my story is that Daryl Morey will end up sending Ben Simmons for a guy who he thinks is similar or above him. I don't think he will regress. I don't think he's going to make this team any worse, and that's just because I think Daryl Morey will pull an absolute rabbit out of the hat. Daryl Morey is a very, very, very good trader. I mean, that dude plays 2K all day long. All he does is just do trade finder until he gets that perfect steal, you know? I think Daryl Morey will find a way to receive some good compensation in return for a guy who I think the Sixers have been building up as an all-star for the past couple of weeks, couple of months, probably a couple of weeks now, saying that we've been refusing pretty good offers. So I think this is all part of a bigger grand scheme by, you know, the doctor of Daryl Morey. And I think that Ben Simmons, there's no shot this man returns to the Sixers next year. And I think this morning, with all the reports coming out of the Sixers finally putting him on the block, is the icing on the cake for that. I think it's over. I think Ben Simmons' time in Philadelphia is over.